All right, y'all, what is up? Welcome back. Welcome back. So, tonight I want to talk about a comment one of my subscribers actually left on a video I did a couple days ago. And he said something to the tune of us as millennials are the last generation that is going to grow up without the internet. And a couple of light bulbs went off, and I was like, that's true. We are the last generation that is actually going to experience childhood without the influence of the internet. Like, crazily enough, I feel like that's making a lot of difference in how the younger generation is growing up versus how we grew up. Like, we grew up homegrown, Mother Earth, the community, everything around us, our surroundings, that's what influenced us to be who we are today, right? But the new generation is different because they actually have influencers, Like, they actually have people who are influencers, who are there. They're not hiding the fact that they're influencing you. It's right in your face. You feel me? And the thing about it is, us as millennials, we didn't have those. We had some celebrities, I guess, but at the end of the day, most of them were just movie stars and, pop stars and rappers or whatever. They had a limited amount of influence on us because we had limited insight on how their life really was. So, at the end of the day, it was up to our community to raise us to who we are today. But I thought it was very interesting because, there's so many things that every generation after us is never going to get to experience because of the corruption of what the internet is. And while I'm thankful for the internet because it allows me to connect with, people around the world and, vice versa, at the same time, it's a double-edged sword because there's so much corruption on the internet. There's so much stuff that doesn't even need to be seen on the internet. I don't believe us as humans were meant to see all the things we see all day by scrolling on our phone. It's all over the reels. Things are crazy. Things are crazy. Let's just say the least. The internet is not what it used to be. It's a lot more open now. We'll just say that it's a lot more open now. But we had something very special. We had something very special. Things like, and one thing I like to think about is the dating realm in that age. Like, what would it have been like to be an adult in the mid 90s? Like, be like 25 years old in the mid 90s and actually go out to a bar or a club and none of the chicks are on their phones. Nobody's on their phones. Everybody is just looking around and conversating and vibing. Everybody has got somebody to talk to. Nobody is looking for their world inside of a phone anymore or using that to compensate for them not being socially aware. Like, what would that have been like? That must have been crazy. It must have been amazing. And just doing something as simple as going somewhere you never been. Like, we used to print out maps on MapQuest. Like, things wasn't readily available like they are now. Like, things weren't as simple as they are now. Things are so simple for people now. And like the fact that there wasn't any dating apps around. No dating apps. It was just all face to face. Like, there's no hiding behind filters. There's no hiding behind any fakeness. There wasn't catfish. Catfishing didn't exist. There's no such thing as catfishing. What you see is what you get. And then that just makes me think about like parties and concerts and all that stuff. And like, you just imagine going to a concert and nobody has a phone out. And in our present age, we got this thing about fear of missing out, FOMO. And that didn't exist back then. The reason it didn't exist is because we didn't know what was going on. Okay, we had no idea what was going on across town. We didn't care. All that mattered what was going on in our community, what was going on with our family, our neighbors, our friends. That's the only thing we cared about. That's the only thing we cared about. It's like that thing where, nowadays we got a million movies we can watch at any time on Netflix, on Hulu, on all these sites, right? And it's like, it's hard to find something to watch. With all these choices, it's still hard to find something to watch. But it was so easy to always find something to watch on basic cable, wasn't it? It was all so easy to find something to watch on Cinemax, HBO, all these little basic cable channels. And all we cared about actually watching was stuff like 106 in Park or TRL. That was the idea of a great Saturday night. Saturday Night Live, stuff like that. Like watching that with your family and friends was literally one of the greatest Saturday nights you could ever have. Having a sleepover with your cousins, playing Nintendo or PlayStation or whatever, and y'all staying up, y'all watching Showtime at the Apollo. I know I'm bringing the old school out for y'all, but doing all this stuff, this is what created us. This is what created who we are. This is why our personalities are so different from that of our future generation. We was raised homegrown, y'all. The internet didn't influence us. Our surroundings did. But we literally witnessed the takeover in real time. I mean, from being teens to being adults, we were participants in it. Don't get me wrong. But we witnessed that takeover firsthand from being like the most technologically savvy group of adults for that time period. Because as you know, if you give a kid a tablet now, he or she will out tablet you. There's no way you can out tablet a kid. They know how to do things on that tablet you'll never know how to do. And you just got to come to terms with that. And there's a different dimension to this where us as millennials, a lot of our childhood was kept in private. It wasn't broadcasted on social media, either by our parents or by us creating accounts when we're like, underage. I mean, we had our little forms of social media, but it's nothing like how it was today. We had Black Planet, we had AOL Instant Messenger, stupid little chat rooms and stuff like that. We didn't have these whole broadcasted live streams with, different viewers from around the world. It wasn't none of that, guys. It wasn't none of that. But it was anything just to be social. We wanted to speak to someone. We wanted to talk to someone, reach out and have a conversation with someone. And being online was exciting. I mean, I don't know if y'all are living in the same time period I'm living in, but nowadays, neighbors don't even talk to each other anymore. When we were growing up, neighbors used to literally come outside, hang together. It used to be like King of the Hill back in the alley, like with Dale and Boomhauer and Hank. Everybody would be out there just chilling, talking, living it up. But no, your neighbor will literally drive right past you and not even wave at you nowadays. Have y'all noticed that? You will see your neighbor outside and nobody will wave. Like, I don't know what has happened. I don't know if it's the things that we've been exposed to on the internet, all the videos we've seen of, disagreements between neighbors. So we're just scared to say hello to our neighbor now. It's completely nuts. It's like we don't live in the same world anymore. And a lot of it I blame on the influence of what's being seen online. But even to simple things like watching a movie, like we had to go out and get the movie and bring it home like it was a deer or something, like it was a wild animal that we had to like hunt and bring back to the house to share with the family. A simple movie, you know what I mean? Like that does something. That does something. Being able to just watch a movie in the palm of your hand is crazy. I saw a post one time and it compared the new generation of people to zombies, because you'll see an entire group of people walking down the street with their heads down like this, looking at their palms because they got their phone in their hand and they can't tell where they're going. It's kind of sad nowadays, but I'm really glad we got to experience actually being kids and living in a day and age where we can just go outside, have fun, and not think about what's on social media, what's happening here, what's happening there. All we was worried about was who is going to get picked in 3-on-3, who's going to get picked in this game and that game. That's all we was worrying about, and who's going to win the game. The most we did was gather around and play some Nintendo 64 every now and then. But even we knew how to limit that. We would play, video games for a couple hours and then we'd go outside for the rest of the day. We'd come back inside for a break and go outside for the rest of the day. It was something about drinking water from that water hose. If you drunk water from that water hose, your immune system is like ironclad, bro. Like nothing can harm you. And when we wanted music, we actually had to go out and get the music. I mean, a couple of us, we had LimeWire and a couple of different apps to where we could free some, we could cook some up, right? But at the end of the day, most of us had to go out and get the CDs. We knew the vibes. It was going to be $15 if you wanted that new CD, maybe even $20 if it was a brand new album. But we paid it anyway. We didn't care. We didn't care about that. And it's like I like to compare us to the people that woke up in the Matrix, because they actually knew what it was like to live in that digital world in the Matrix, and they actually knew what it was like to be in real life as a human outside of that digital world. And I feel like that's us. But yeah, we're the last generation to pretty much have both worlds. And we lived the best of both worlds, to be honest with you, because we saw the creation of the internet. We lived through the first meme era, the first YouTube era. We lived through all these eras and saw it in first person, which was amazing, because there are things that we can reference that the generation prior would never know about and the generation forward would never know about. It's only us. We only know about these, little internet memes that, happened in the early 2000s and stuff like that. It's only us. We only know about this stuff. I feel like we're the last generation to know what it feels like to be fully present in the moment. You know what I mean? And that means something, because we need to teach the future generation what it is to be present in the moment. Because most of us, I'm going to be honest, we live in our phones. So, if you were born in the millennial time period, congrats, because you part of the last OGs that know what real life actually feels like. Keep yourself fully present in this world, because I guarantee you that's the best way to experience it, all right? If you like what you see, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.